Hey folks, I'm Tina Hui with Follow the Coin. We are the homepage of digital currency and fintech. Welcome to this snippet of Bit News. Well, folks, Inside Bitcoin's 2014 in Las Vegas has now been wrapped up. Coin Agenda will be on stage interviewing Kraken CEO Jesse Powell and be on the ground doing interviews. So let's dig into this update. Arguably the biggest event at Inside Bitcoin's conference in Las Vegas this week was when Patrick Bryne, the CEO and founder of Overstock.com, stunned a packed room of Bitcoin enthusiasts at his keynote on crypto securities as the next decentralized frontier by announcing his plans to create a stock market based on the Bitcoin blockchain protocol. What? In his own words, he said Overstock went public in 2002. And it became very clear to him that there was a tremendous amount of criminality on Wall Street. It's no secret that Bryne has had quite a history on Wall Street as someone who is constantly trying to reform its practices. Bryne went on to say that he had become the scourge of Wall Street by focusing on a single issue that drove the mechanics of the entire stock market, that being settlement, the most hated man on Wall Street in 2007. And on October 5th, 2014, Bryne began his presentation on how the blockchain has proved to be very well suited to the exchange of digital currency. But what about exchanging shares of public companies? Overstock.com CEO Patrick Bryne, a longtime critic of Wall Street, is actively pursuing a model for trading stock on a peer-to-peer basis using the Bitcoin protocol. In his talk, Bryne discussed the challenges and opportunities presented by a decentralized stock exchange in transforming the corruption of the stock market with an explanation of the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, otherwise known as the DTCC, the backbone of the U.S. stock market, which he described as the slough in the system that has the fingerprints of organized crime all over it. Bryne is pointing any folks interested in learning about the corruption of the stock market to www.deepcapture.com. Accordingly, Bryne explains that the global equities market is an enormous black box. He states that his research, which has been a work in progress since 2005, reveals that the capital markets have flimsy regulation at best, the mechanics of which are owned by the people who would profit most. And his solution to Overstock is launching a peer-to-peer alternative to Wall Street. Law firm Perkins Coie is assisting in the legal process, and Bryne has hired 2 of the 3 founders of CounterParty, a platform for free and open financial tools on the Bitcoin network, to join in on the effort. Previous speculations about Bryne's next steps into the Bitcoin ecosystem have been around Bryne establishing a cryptocurrency. Now, his publicly committing to the controversial decentralized open stock market and his concept surrounding it does include an O coin as a unit of value that will enable the parallel stock market. And at Inside Bitcoin this week, Bryne has issued a bold statement that they've opened their checkbook and built a business unit within Overstock to build a crypto alternative to Wall Street. One potential hitch to his Wall Street 2.0 strategy: regulators will need to approve his controversial concept. But that isn't stopping Bryne, who is assembling coders to create a Bitcoin-like stock market with zeal. The details? Overstock.com is now building software based on the Bitcoin digital currency that could allow the big-name retailer to issue corporate stock over the internet, sidestepping traditional stock exchanges such as the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. The Salt Lake City-based company recently hired 2 of the developers behind CounterParty, and according to Overstock founder and CEO Patrick Bryne, these coders will help build crypto security software that any company could potentially use to issue financial securities over the net. Mirroring Bitcoin, known as a cryptocurrency, these securities would be controlled by cryptographic algorithms running across computers spread across the globe, instead of by a central stock exchange. The project is codenamed Medici and aims to democratize Wall Street in much the same way Bitcoin seeks to democratize currency and payments. By operating separate from traditional stock exchanges and big corporate banks, its aim is to eliminate certain loopholes in the system and reduce the costs associated with issuing and juggling stock. After building the software inside Overstock, Bryne plans to spin off its developers into a separate company altogether to build upon the software and provide various services to those who use it. There is an opportunity to recreate the financial world as we know it in a parallel universe that is the blockchain. That's what Bryne told Wired, referring to the online public ledger that keeps track of all Bitcoin transactions, stating, "We are writing rules for this whole new universe." This is the first time Bryne is publicly committed to the project and is now on its way of being built. The software would require the approval of government regulators, and according to Wired, Bryne has had a long antagonistic history in pushing for reform on Wall Street, and he is hoping to partner rather than be in opposition with regulators and anyone else who wants to be involved. After Overstock builds its cryptocurrency software, Bryne intends to present the new system to regulators for approval. This is likely going to be an interesting and long story to follow as it develops because the SEC and the incumbent banks are so set in their ways. Overstock has enlisted a team of lawyers from the international law firm Perkins Coie, which in recent years has sought to build up an expertise in the area of Bitcoin and other digital currencies. Alas, Follow the Coin will be here covering the story and project and its aims to create a stock system based on math that operates outside the control of big incumbent banks that ideally would eliminate loopholes maintained and exploited by interested parties. To date, one example of such a Wall Street practice is naked short selling, where banks and funds essentially sell shares that don't exist. In theory, a system based on the blockchain where all transactions are public would eliminate this from occurring. The other hope, according to one of CounterParty's developers, Robbie Dermody, is that the system will allow startups to more easily take their companies public. Startups get a lot less of the money than they otherwise would because there have been so many middlemen, and they hope to increase the efficiency of the market. In the end, should the project succeed, this could bring investments much closer to the average consumer. The scenario they have in mind: if you shop for linens on Overstock, you can get a new mattress, and now, by the way, you could also spend $10 more and invest in the company. After spinning off from Overstock, Bryne says the company behind this project is planning to help other businesses take their companies public and juggle transactions. The intent is to charge about 20% or less of what Wall Street banks charge for similar services today. Bryne is committing between 5 and 10% of Overstock's cash flow in single-digit millions to the company's crypto security project. Building this and being the company that owns this can be more valuable than Overstock, according to him. It can even be more valuable than Alibaba. Wow! Talk about disrupting and innovating an entire way of doing things differently in the financial system. Well, hopefully partnerships with regulators will come more smooth. It's worth noting that Bitcoin is getting hit pretty heavily lately. After trading at above $1,000 in December, the value of the digital currency dropped below $300 over the weekend, and is now fluctuating between $270 and $350 USD. But enthusiasts of the digital currency and Bitcoin protocol are not deterred, as they feel that this can be bigger than the internet. So stay tuned, folks. There's a lot going on in fintech. One thing is for certain: Bitcoin has opened up a lot of new discussions in fintech, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it together with you here at Follow the Coin. Alright, well, that's it for this update. And thanks, everyone. Have a good rest of your afternoon. Bye! See you later!